is Jess. I'm a knitter from the Midwest. This is my first YouTube video. I am starting off with my 2025 makes. I haven't counted what I've made. It's quite a bit, it's quite heavy. So yeah, grab a beverage, cozy up, and let's get into it. I'm drinking sparkling water. If I could somehow get a sponsorship for any brand of sparkling water, I go through like 3 to 4 cans a day. I guess that's staying hydrated. Whatever. So the first thing that I had made was the Alaska hat. This is a paid for pattern by Marita Harvey. I used Ideal by Manos del Uruguay in the colorway Zinnia. It's a 100% Polworth yarn. The color I'm just in love with. The hat, it was a good pattern, fun. I've also done a gift knit for a friend in Cascade 220 worsted superwash, I believe, in a forest green color. Yeah, it's just a ribbed hat. Overall good, nothing much to say. The second thing that I had made was the flashback hoodie by Witter Designs. I hope I'm saying that right. This I made in blue sky fibers extra in the colorway Canyon. This is a 55% baby alpaca, 45% fine merino. It's just this like warm little hood that you can throw on and wear. This yarn it's a bulky weight. It's so soft, like so incredibly soft. Yeah. This took maybe like a week to knit overall. I've gotten a lot of wear out of it. Then I have my Wellerman shawl. This is my first pattern that I have knit by Caitlin Hunter. I have fond memories of making this shawl. I actually was knitting on this while I was on my trip to Joshua Tree this previous year. It's a super nice cabled pattern. My favorite part of it is there's like these almost pine, I don't know if you can see this, like these pine tree looking design. So kind of gives me Pacific Northwest vibes. I knit this up in Cascade 220 in colorway 9465, which is like a heathered gray, but it's like a brown leaning heathered gray. So I thought that was really interesting, and that's why I chose that color. I have de-pilled this plenty of times. It looks like it needs to be de-pilled again. What's cool about this pattern, it's a worsted weight pattern. You start by casting on like over 400 stitches, and then as you are knitting it, you do your decreases down. So it goes by fast in that way. Next, this is probably my favorite thing that I've knit, and by far my knit that has gotten the most wear. It is the Step by Step cardigan by Florence Miller, knit up in Noro Madara. This is a worsted weight pattern, and I use colorway 10, which is this like tan brown color with all these cool like speckly colors. Oh, I also have not put buttons on this yet. I haven't found or cared to put buttons on it, but I do get so much wear out of this. It's a very classic cardigan. The yarn is beautiful. It's a free pattern. You can pay for it or choose to get it for free, and she includes video tutorials as well. My next, I'm not happy with this. Okay, so this is, I'm calling it a trout sweater vest. I based this off of some free patterns by Emily Boldouin, I believe is how you say it. She has free sweater vest patterns. There's a chunky and a worsted weight version. So kind of what I did was I got this is in Lang Yarns Cloud Tweed. It is a bulky, super washed merino. It's kind of, I don't know if it's a blown yarn, but it is very like airy and fluffy, if you can kind of tell on there. I believe I ended up using the worsted weight pattern to kind of create this, and like it's really fun, but I just need to redo the bind off. For some reason I bound off in pattern, which just does not have enough stretch, but I haven't found myself taking the time and energy to go back, and I would honestly just do a sewn bind off, my typical go-to. I have no idea why I didn't do it for this, but I would probably get more wear out of this once I do that. Let's see, now we're kind of moving into like summer territory. My first finished object that I have for summer was the Coastline mini dress. Oh my god, it is so wrinkled. This is a pattern by Agla Knitwear. I knit this up in Kelborn Woolens Mojave and Prussian Blue. I didn't have anything in this kind of colorway, so that's why I chose blue. I really like how this turned out. The sport weight pattern, some modifications I did make though are, I believe it was supposed to have kind of like an unfinished like rolled, no, I'm sorry, it was supposed to have a crochet edge for all of the finishing. I chose to do I-cord instead. I'm just more comfortable doing I-cord. I'm not big on crocheting at all. I did run into an issue, which this is like nothing to the pattern writer's fault. It was completely my own. I was not trying on as I went and somehow ended up knitting the armholes way too deep on this. And I tried it on and I'm like, oh, it'll block out. Like, we'll see what happens. And it didn't block out. So there were like these big gapes. You could totally see the whole side of my bra. I was just not comfortable in it. So what I chose to do was actually add on, I believe it's a 7-stitch double knitting just around the armholes. So by building out that fabric, like just this much, covers my bra, makes it completely wearable now. So yeah, happy with it. Tank tops. Okay. I then knit the Zoe top by Suzanne Mueller. This is just a 2x2 rib, kind of racer back tank top. It's a DK weight pattern. I knit it up in Sedness Garn Duo, which is, I believe, 55% merino, 45% Pima cotton. This is my first project where I've run into the issue with dye lots. I've never paid close attention to that in the past. I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, you probably can. I was knitting this up and realized I need another skein. Ordered another skein, and it's kind of darker looking at the bottom. Overall, this was like a nice yarn to work with, comfortable on the hands, but yeah. And I did the Juno tank by, it's either Vertknit or Verknit, depending on what country she is from. This was just a quick tank top that I knit up in Pasquale Puno Winneconka, which is 70% cotton and 30% merino. Oh my god, I'm sorry, 30% alpaca. It's kind of hard to see the details, but it does have this like really nice rib, which with these like braided rib rows. There is bust shaping as well on this. It's just a little black crop tank. The fabric is super nice. Now we get into fall knits. I did knit my very first Sari Nordland pattern. This is the Soul Sister shawl. It's kind of like a scarf. I knit this out of Mono Still Uruguay Maxima, which is 100% merino, non-superwash, in the colorway Sweet Potato. This was a super fun knit. It has this like dip stitch design, which makes it very engaging while you're knitting it. I believe the pattern called for a yarn held with mohair to get the worsted weight gauge. I chose to just go with one strand of yarn, so I did think that this would work well because it's a single ply. It kind of had like a airy kind of fluffiness to it, and with the coloring and the yarn, I thought it would look really cool in this dip stitch pattern. This yarn was amazing to work with. It knit up so nice. My only issue is with wearing it. I do wear this pretty frequently. It's so thick and warm. Like honestly, this is probably also one of my favorite things that I've ever made, just in terms of wearability and use I can get out of it, but it does pill like very easily. And I've already de-pilled this once or twice before, but I like how it turned out. Next, I have my Louna Miniskirt by Knitters and Friends. The suggested yarn for this was Sadness Garn Peer Gynt. It's 100% Norwegian wool, DK weight. This is in the colorway Matcha, which is a partnership with Petite Knit. This was a fun pattern to make. I've worn this quite a few times. Super cute. There's an elastic band that is added in, and I don't know, for some reason it's like, it feels like it's twisted. So that's like really bothering me right now. But yeah, I like the details on this. This was a folded over hem. The pocket finishing, I don't love. I tried to block them a little bit flatter, but they still tend to roll a little bit, and maybe that's the look. But this color, very my style. I've gotten quite a bit of wear out of this, and I had just made it in the fall. And then my last big garment project was the Robina sweater by Ann Wetzel. This pattern uses multiple, at least in her samples, multiple strands of yarns held together, and that is not my thing at all. So I chose to use just one strand of yarn with this. So I did go with, again, the Woolstock Fibers, the Blue Sky Fibers Extra in the colors Black Swan and Buttercream. This was my first stranded colorwork garment that I have made. And again, it's not too complicated because it's just striping with, I believe it's like 7 rows where you actually do different stranded colorwork changes. Overall, I'm super happy with this. So soft. It is rather heavy, but I like how it fits. The boat neck is pretty nice on it. It doesn't, like, I don't have really any issues wearing wool against my skin. I believe I did choose to do 1 extra row of the twisted rib around the neckline just to, I don't know, give it a little something else. Overall, great pattern. I was kind of confused with there is short row shaping on the sleeves, like on the sleeve cap. I think it looks pretty seamless now that it was blocked. I was kind of worried as I was doing it. But yeah, overall, happy with this. Then the last few things that I have made, I don't have it with me. It was a gift knit. I can insert a picture. It was the Strata Cradle Blanket, which comes out of Brooklyn Tweed's Knit and Crochet Blankets. I haven't knitted a blanket, but I thought I just had the itch to do it this year. So I went with the cradle blanket. It's 5 different colors. And because it's so small, I just needed 1 skein of yarn. Here we go. 1 skein of yarn, each color. It has this kind of fun color work modular design. I knitted out of Barocco Vintage DK in 4 different colorways. I chose orange, fennel, chocolate, Chana Doll, and then I also did 1 color 83122 in Barocco Ultra Wool, which is a super wash wool. A gift, I wanted it to be machine washable to the recipients. And then with all of the leftovers, I then used the Edinburgh dog sweater pattern. This is a free pattern on Ravelry to make a sweater for my dog Esther. She is on the larger side of dog breeds, and has like a very like kind of barrel-y shape. So I did modify the pattern. I did cast on more stitches, and then from there just followed it with striping. I will insert a photo of that. And then I recently just made Amy Christopher's the pressed flower kerchief pattern. With this, I had almost a full skein of each of these colors. It's Awa by Amano Yarns. This is a 55% baby alpaca, 26% merino, and 19% Pima cotton blend. Honestly, I could have made this bigger because I only used about half of what I had. But overall, I'm happy. I love the colors. And I couldn't find them, but I did make the Cloudburst fingerless mitts by Aryan Gray. I do have the yarn though. I knit it out of this really pretty emerald color. This is Rerum Nortura Ulysses. It's a sport weight yarn. I believe it's woolen spun. It has a nice loftiness to it. And it's a free pattern. It's a fingerless mitt with a lace pattern on the front. I can insert a photo. And then I'm gonna consider this a finished project. This is a pair of the halibut mitts by Caitlin Hunter. I only have one completed. These are a gift for my boyfriend for Christmas. For the last one, I just have to do the Kitchener stitch at the top and then pick up and knit the thumb. This is all made with scrap yarn that I had in stash. The dark brown color is the Fiber Company Aran More Light. I have the little tag here. In colorway Sierran. It's like this dark brown with specks of like blue and red in there. And then the lighter color is Kelburn Woolen Scout. I don't have the colorway name off the top of my head, but it's kind of yellowy leaning with a bunch of like purpley, red, blue. I don't know why I'm holding it upside down like this. Here, this is how you hold a mitten. Sorry. So one modification I made to the pattern was I did add in a Latvian braid, extra element, which I feel fits that Scandinavian vibe. Overall, these are super quick to knit up. I did this one in about 3 days when I was working on other projects. The other one I knit up in 2 days, with the exception of those like finishing touches. And this isn't like necessarily a real project, but I did make I made a bunch of tiny sweaters. My goal was to create enough mini sweaters to make a garland to hang up at work, one for every employee. That obviously did not happen because I just got so sick of working on these. The pattern is Le Poof Mini, I believe. It's a free pattern, and these are all done using all of my fingering weight scraps. It's mostly Jaw Wool by Lang Yarns, Amble by the Fiber Co. This one was Patton's Croy, I believe, in a self-striping. I may pick this up again this upcoming year once I'm kind of like ready for my hands to work on something small and tedious. Like, you would think that they knit up really quick, and technically they do, but because you're working on such small needles, there's so many stitches involved for such a small project that they just kind of drag. And I also have a pair of socks that are almost finished. These are the Shrimply the Best socks by Stone Knits, I believe. This was my first actual stranded color work pattern I've worked on, using hedgehog fiber. Is this like fun pistachio green color, and then the other one, this might be Cascade. Honestly, it's probably Cascade, the like corally salmon color. They're socks. I don't know what else to say. Like, I just get so bored of working on socks now that I've like made a ton. The color work chart was the most engaging part. They have helical stripes on it. I just have to finish the toe and do the Kitchener stitch bind off. It also calls out to do like a duplicate stitch for the eye in black, so I do also have to finish that. I will finish off by saying I am wearing, I should have done this at the beginning, alas, here we are. This is my Mount Pleasant top, knitted a few years ago using Cascade 220 is the contrast, but the body is knit in Ritual Dyes Maiden and Haystack Rock. I just think it kind of embodies the Pacific Northwest vibe. Thank you if you've stayed here till the end. I look forward to seeing everybody's 2025 makes. Thanks. Bye.